Fantastic. First of all, it's always nice to be in London. I enjoy being here. Life after retirement is hectic, but I'm enjoying. I'm getting to know different side of life. For 24 years, it was about cricket, and I was focused on cricket and nothing else. But post-retirement, I think it's been hectic but enjoyable.
So what are these new things that you're learning about in particular, new areas of life?
Well, there are different things coming up every now and then, from commercial point of view, from my appearances point of view, few social causes that I'm associated with now. I want to do something for the community and mainly the disabled, the disadvantaged community, and if I could have a reasonable contribution in changing their lives and help them achieve their dreams. I would consider myself lucky one because I feel first innings of my life was playing cricket and chasing my own dream, and the dream was to win the World Cup, which was full of excitement. The second innings of my life now, post cricketing years now, is to try and give back something to the people who wished well for me, and it's all about satisfaction.
It seems incredible to hear you say that, because I think in the Indian population would say that you have already given them so much. You have already fulfilled their dreams by winning the World Cup and having the cricket career that you have.
Yeah, to win the World Cup was my dream, and though I was patient. I didn't want to wait for 22 years to lift the trophies is a long time. We came a couple of times close to lifting the trophy. Once in 2003 when we lost in the finals. 1996 we lost in the semis, but we were playing real good cricket. So I thought we had a good chance to get to Pakistan to play the finals, which was a disappointment. But finally 2011 was a golden moment for me in my career. I think that's the best moment that I've experienced in my career. To be able to stand there in the middle of the ground with the entire nation celebrating and dancing was a special moment. I can barely describe how excited I was, and to put it in words is just not possible.
Is there any sense of relief now that you've retired, that maybe the burden of the nation has lifted with the victory in the World Cup? Virat Kohli very memorably said on the outfield when you were being carried around that you'd carried the burden of the nation for 21 years.
Playing cricket was never a burden. It was a joy to be out there in the middle. It was never a burden. People expected a lot of things from me, and I enjoyed that because people actually felt that I could deliver. And if an individual is part of a team and people don't expect anything from him, there is always a question mark. So I felt good when people expected something from me, and that sort of inspired me to go out and push myself harder. If I did something well, I wanted to better that, and if I didn't do well according to my expectations, then more the reason to work hard. So basically I was trying to find a reason to push myself harder. People helped me to push harder.
Can you ever remember batting with a cluttered mind? There was a time when you just couldn't get into that subconscious
Many
state?
times.
Many times,
yes. And
could you work through that?
I'm not a machine, so the mind will continue to think differently, and not always you are comfortable in the middle. There are times when, and it need not be always when the bowlers are bowling really well. Sometimes it's ordinary bowling, but you don't feel comfortable, and that's the time just to hang around and wait for the time to come where you slowly start feeling comfortable. It's just a matter of momentum. There is always shift in momentum. It's all about killing time there, and sometimes that's why they say that sometimes you're better off being at the non-strikers end, and then time takes care of most of the things. You got to just allow that to happen. So I have been uncomfortable in the middle on number of occasions.
Was your mind cluttered between your 99th Test 100 and your 100th 100? it became something of an obsession. Was it your obsession, or was it a media
No,
obsession?
it wasn't my obsession, because I was on 9900s. I think in 2011 World Cup against South Africa was my 99th hundred, and people didn't talk about my 100th hundred during 2011 World Cup. And suddenly the Tour of England, everyone started discussing, oh, he wants to get his 100th hundred on at Lords. I wish I could do that, calculate so nicely and program all my itinerary accordingly, because I missed out going to West Indies, and people thought that no, I didn't want to get my 100th hundred in West Indies. I want to get it in England, and hundreds don't come so easily. You got to go out and get it. It was a difficult phase in my career, because everybody had started talking about 100, and a difficult phase because I thought I was batting well, and we were playing against West Indies in India, and a test match in Delhi I scored crucial 76 runs in the second innings, which helped India to win the test match. I was instrumental in that, along with VVS Lakshman. We both had a good partnership, but the next day's headline said that Sachin misses his 100. Nothing to do with India winning the test match. So people had also become obsessed about 100th hundred. I mean, it was for any batsman to go out and score big runs and win a match is something that you dream of. It's something that you want to do always. And while doing so, you end up scoring 100. That feels great. But then suddenly the focus was only on 100, and it had started affecting me.
Talking about the impact of this a century on a match, what would be your most memorable or the most meaningful 100 that you've scored in your career, one day or test?
I think the most meaningful 100 has to be the one that I scored against England in 2008 in Chennai.
I thought you might say that.
This was after the terrorist attack in Mumbai, and I think the whole nation needed something, where we could divert our attention, even if it was for a short span, and then allow them to think about something else. It was that one match. It was a difficult period for all the all the Indians across the globe, not just in India. And I felt really proud that I could do something which allowed people to think about something else for a while, and it allowed people to smile, which was even greater satisfaction. So it has to be that 100.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be at the ground when you scored that 100. And there was an immense outpouring, I think, of emotion and elation sort of mixed in together. Did you sense that in the middle?
I did, because the groundsmen also came and they celebrated. I've not experienced that ever in my career, where the groundsmen are jumping on the ground and celebrating. So that conveys to everyone that how much it meant to all the people in India.
I'd like to talk a little bit to you about you and your life away from cricket. Can you separate the two? Is that possible?
Yeah, I think in my book it was a little difficult to do that, because my cricketing life everyone knew, because it was out there in the middle for everyone to see. But my personal life I've never discussed, and normally I don't talk much. So to pen those things down was difficult for me.
What was the process you went through in order to get those thoughts and those experiences down on paper?
Yeah,
Did it start conversations?
There were occasions when my wife Anjali sat with me, and we thought about everything that had happened from the start of our relationship. Also sat with my brother, my sister, everyone, and just trying to recall all those things from my childhood days. it's been a mega contribution from the people who've all been close to me, and capturing all those special moments and penning them down was something that I wanted to do, because there's so many things that happened in my life which I felt should be conveyed to all the people across the globe. And it's been a wonderful package deal that I've been gifted, and I'm thankful, because there have been some special moments, there have been some difficult moments, disappointing moments, but all put together it makes a beautiful package deal, and I just wanted to share that with people. So here I am.
I mean, I've been at airports where you've been walking through with the Indian team, and you get mobbed, as I'm sure you have done, moving around the country, promoting your book and doing these interviews, and people want to get near you, to touch you, to get down to touch your feet. Does it ever make you feel a little cramped for space in life?
No, I don't. I'm used to that, and I consider myself fortunate that people like me, people love me, and you know, it's a special thing. I'm blessed. I think God's been kind to me. I don't want to take anything for granted. This is a blessing from up above. I mean, what is wrong in people liking you and loving you? I think it's a blessing, and I'm only thankful to everyone for being so kind to me, and it's never enough. Continue to do so, please. Thank you.
You have 1 billion people who see you as a god, a cricketing god. Does that ever leave you feeling a certain level of expectation?
I'm no cricketing god. I've made a lot of mistakes on the field, and whenever I've played, I've made mistakes. I mean, sometimes you get beaten, and it's because you've not played the ball correctly. Sometimes, and then one continues to do that. So it's about bringing that number as down as possible. And I've just loved playing cricket. People have started calling me God and all those kind of things, but I don't think. I'm just
You're not quite comfortable with that.
I'm normal Sachin, and that's how it should be.
Is there anything that you regret from your cricket career?
There are disappointments, a lot of disappointments. Like in 2003, we got to the finals, but we couldn't pull it off. Which meant a lot to not just to me, but the entire nation. Those kind of disappointments are there, but as I said earlier, that it's a package deal, and I wouldn't want to change anything. Each and every chapter in cricket has taught me some or the other thing, and that has made the whole journey special and the experience special.
I thought you were going to say 2002 was a disappointment. Wasn't that when Michael Vaughan dismissed you for 92?
Well, I mean,
this interview will go out on a programme fronted by Michael Vaughan, so I have to mention that.
Michael Vaughan, as and when we meet each other, he reminds me of that. And Michael, I mean, I still can't believe I got out to you in 92. Michael is a good friend, and we played. He was starting his career for Yorkshire when I was the first overseas professional, rather the first non-Yorkshire
born, yes.
So I've seen and I've heard of Michael since 1992. So he's done a wonderful job for England.
Was he a formidable captain to come up against, a formidable opponent?
Yeah, I mean, extremely talented, batted really well, and done well against us. And that particular test match also he scored runs. So Michael has been a special player.
Can I close with some thoughts on the world game? Do you feel that Test cricket has a strong future?
Yes, of course. Test cricket is like a main course. The rest of the versions are starters and desserts. Test cricket is the main course, and that's where it'll always be. I mean, out of 10 cricketers, if you asked, I wouldn't be surprised if 8 said that Test cricket is right at the top, and then comes the rest. Other formats have also been successful, especially T20 has become really successful, really popular. What it has done is it has allowed spectators to to be able to turn up and watch an action game where the result is guaranteed. It's never a draw, and it's full of excitement. But we are with T20, we are bringing in a different set of audience to watch, and out of those, even if you can convert 10% or 15% Test cricket fans, then it's a win-win situation.
If you were
for
beginning
T20 as well as Test cricket. But I think from a player's point of view and true connoisseurs of Test cricket, nothing can match that.
If you were starting your career now, though, and your son Arjun is a very talented cricketer, would you still encourage him and other cricketers? Would you yourself still aim for Test cricket?
Yes, to get a Test India cap is the ultimate thing, and that's what I would tell any youngster, not just my son, but any youngster. The satisfaction is something. It is unmatched by any other thing. So chase that India cap.
And does your son have that aspiration? Would you wish
He
that?
enjoys.
Would you like
He
him to follow
enjoys
your
playing
footsteps?
cricket, but having played sport for last 24 years at the top level, I know what it is, to bring the best out of any youngster, and to bring the best out of them, you got to give them freedom, license to fall in love with cricket, which he is in love with cricket. You got to just go out and express yourself, not worry about performances and technique all the time. That will happen with the experience and maturity. You learn how to play cricket. First, cricket has to be in your heart, and then it finds its way to your brain, where it teaches you how to get wickets and how to score runs. But the most important thing is to be madly in love with cricket, which he is.
And are you still madly in love with cricket? Will your future be in cricket?
It'll always
now?
be. I don't know about the future, but I mean, cricket has given me life. Cricket has given me whatever I have today. So, for me, cricket will always be the ultimate.